Hey you, before we get into this, I want you to genuinely sit with this question for a moment. Why do some men get completely disrespected by women, treated like an afterthought, ignored, used, while those same women will move mountains chasing other men? And before you say it, no, it's not just about money. And no, it's not just about looks. Because if that were true, every handsome man would have women lining up at his door, and every wealthy man would be drowning in genuine affection. But that's not what happens, is it? There are good-looking men right now, probably someone you know personally, who cannot get a woman to take them seriously. And there are rich men being drained emotionally and financially by women who never actually respected them. So what is the real variable? What separates the man who gets chased from the man who gets used? I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. But stay with me. Because by point 4, most men realize they've been doing everything completely backwards their entire lives. The answer is this. High-value men know how to ignore women. Now before you close this and assume you already understand what that means, you probably don't. Most people here ignore women and think it's about being cold or playing childish games. It's neither. There's a deep psychology behind this, a method, and when applied correctly, it rewires the entire dynamic between you and any woman you encounter. By the time we reach the final point, you'll have a completely different understanding of how attraction actually works. Let's get into it. Number 1, free attention is killing your value. The moment a woman wakes up and reaches for her phone, she has already received more attention than most men get in a week. Messages, comments, likes, reactions, a flood of men competing to be noticed by someone who hasn't even gotten out of bed yet. Her ego is stroked before her day has even started. Now here's what most men fail to understand. When you are one of those men in that flood, you are invisible, not because she dislikes you, but because you blend into the noise. A high-value man doesn't sit in that crowd. He might approach a woman, introduce himself with confidence, and create a genuine moment of connection. But after that, he stops. No double texts, no checking her social media daily, no unprompted compliments into the void. He steps back, and suddenly he becomes the question mark in a world full of exclamation points. She starts to notice the silence where his attention used to be. She asks herself why he hasn't followed up, why he isn't chasing, why she isn't enough to hold his focus. And that question will consume her in ways that no amount of compliments ever could. She will come to you not because of a trick, but because genuine indifference to validation is one of the rarest things a woman ever encounters in a man. Number 2, your purpose has to come before her. Here's something that will make certain men deeply uncomfortable. The most attractive thing about a high-value man has nothing to do with her. It's the fact that he has somewhere else to be. He has a mission, a direction, goals that existed long before she entered the picture and will continue long after. He isn't available at every hour because his hours are already spoken for. He's in the gym. He's building his finances. He's developing his skills. He's becoming something. And here's what nobody tells you: women can feel the difference between a man who is busy and a man who is pretending to be busy. One is magnetic. The other is transparent. So this isn't a tactic you perform. It's a standard you live. Get to work on your body, your career, your knowledge, your finances. Build a life so full and so compelling that fitting a woman into your schedule genuinely requires effort. When she senses that your world doesn't revolve around her, that she would have to earn a real place in it, everything shifts. You stop being someone she tolerates and start being someone she thinks about at 3 in the morning. But we'll come back to why that matters in just a moment. Number 3, boldness before everything. Now here's where a lot of men get confused. They hear ignore women and they think it means avoid them, retreat, stay distant. That is completely wrong and it will get you nowhere. Before you can pull back, you have to show up. A high-value man approaches. He walks over with confidence, makes his presence known, and communicates his interest clearly. He doesn't wait and hope. He doesn't linger nearby expecting her to initiate. He acts. The willingness to be rejected and still move forward is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess, because it signals that his self-worth is not on the line every time a woman says no. That fearlessness is rare. Most men are so paralyzed by the possibility of rejection that they never take the shot at all, and they spend years wondering what could have happened. You can grow from a rejection. You can learn from it, shake it off, and move to the next one. But you cannot undo a lifetime of hesitation. Be bold first, then pull back strategically. That sequence is everything. Number 4, solitude is a superpower. Stop here for a second because this point quietly changes everything, and most men skip right past it. High-value men are not afraid of being alone. They actually enjoy it. They use their time alone to reflect, to plan, to grow, to recharge. Their identity and self-worth are completely independent of whether a woman is present in their life. And that right there is one of the most attractive qualities a man can carry. Think about it from her perspective. When a man is comfortable alone, he cannot be controlled through the fear of losing him. He cannot be manipulated with the threat of withdrawal. He isn't clingy, desperate, or emotionally volatile because he has grounded himself in his own sense of completeness. He wants companionship, yes, but he does not need it to function. That distinction changes how he carries himself, how he speaks, how he responds to conflict, how he makes decisions. He chooses a woman because she adds to an already rich life, not because she fills a hole. Women feel this difference immediately, and the man who is complete on his own will always be more compelling than the man who is searching for someone to make him whole. Number 5, never reward bad behavior, not even once. Pay close attention here because this is the point where most men quietly destroy everything they've built. A woman tests. It's not always conscious, but it happens. She'll create conflict where there doesn't need to be any. She'll be unreasonable, dismissive, or cold, and then she'll watch how you respond. And the majority of men, desperate to restore the good feeling, will rush in with apologies, affection, and reassurance, even when they did nothing wrong. Every time you do that, you teach her that bad behavior gets rewarded, that she can treat you poorly and still receive your warmth and attention. That dynamic only goes in one direction, and it's not good for you. A high-value man responds with silence. He pulls back. He doesn't argue, doesn't plead, doesn't erupt in anger. He simply becomes less available until the energy shifts. That calm, measured response communicates more strength than any argument ever could. It tells her that your presence in her life is conditional on how she treats you, and that standard, once established, changes the entire relationship. Hold it without wavering, because the moment you break it once, she knows exactly how to reset you back to zero. Number 6, speak with precision, say less. A high-value man does not ramble. He doesn't fill silences with nervous chatter or send long messages trying to keep her entertained. He says what he means, plainly and directly, and then he stops talking. No excessive emojis, no performance, no softening his words to avoid coming across too strong. He communicates with masculine clarity, and he lets that clarity do the work. When a woman tries to play games, hot and cold, mixed signals, keeping him guessing, the high-value man doesn't play along. He goes quiet, he pulls back, and that silence is louder than any response he could have given. It tells her that he won't be strung along, that his attention is not guaranteed, and that she will have to decide quickly whether she's serious or not. Stop wasting your best years in situations that are going nowhere. Be direct. Make your intentions clear. And if she's not meeting you at that level, walk away without a second thought. Number 7, your schedule is not negotiable. Here's a mistake that even men who understand everything else still make. They rearrange their life for a woman they've barely gotten to know. They cancel plans with friends. They skip the gym. They push back work to be available the moment she says she's free. And every single time they do that, they communicate one thing loudly, that she is the most important thing in their world and everything else comes second. That is not attractive. It is suffocating. A high-value man has a structured, full life and he protects it. When she asks to meet, he doesn't say, "I'm free whenever." He says, "I'm tied up this week, but I can make Wednesday evening work." That response carries an entirely different weight. It tells her that time with him requires effort to obtain, that he has things going on, that she is not automatically at the top of his priority list just because she showed interest. And ironically, that is exactly what makes her want to be at the top of it. Guard your schedule. Guard your time. It is the one resource that once gone never returns. Number 8, build a mindset that nothing can shake. We've covered a lot, but none of it will work, not a single point, without this final piece in place. And here's the truth that most men aren't ready to hear. You can know all of this intellectually and still fall apart the moment an attractive woman walks into the room. Because knowledge without an unshakable inner foundation is just words. High-value men don't get rattled around beautiful women because they don't see those women as somehow above them. They see equals. And that perspective keeps them grounded, calm, and effortlessly magnetic. The men who get anxious, who freeze up, who over-explain themselves or go out of their way to impress, they do all of that because somewhere inside they believe the woman in front of them is out of their league. And she picks up on that belief instantly. The cure is not fake confidence. The cure is genuine self-development done consistently over time until you look at your own life and feel proud of what you've built. Start there. Build your body, build your finances, build your mind. And as you grow, you will find that no woman, regardless of how stunning she is, will knock you off your foundation. You will walk into rooms differently. You will speak differently. You will carry yourself differently. And women will notice without you ever having to announce it. That is the high-value man, not a man who plays games. A man who has built something real, knows his worth, and refuses to settle for anything less than what he deserves. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Work through the rest of the content on this channel. And if this spoke to you, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what's coming next is something you genuinely don't want to miss.